Good morning, Commissioner Lasher, and we have Commissioner Anderson and Commissioner Lotta with us. And we are going to go through the vacancy proposal resolutions this morning and work on some more of the wording and getting prepared for our presentation on the first Wednesday of October. And we did um, hear from the election supervisor regarding reviewing the language and felt there's a little piece that needs to be clarified. I think she understands the what's trying to happen, but this is language that was taken out of the King County charter, and there are attorneys that had worked on this language. Now, I had suggested that maybe we forward this language over to our attorneys, either Chris Cook or Amanda, does most of the election work, and I forward to Chris and let her make the decision if she wants to pass it on to Amanda to look at that language and see if they could maybe smooth it out a little bit better. This, Greg, this language that she's talking about is on the second page of the combination, which is our primary proposal that we'll have. We have the other scenarios or options, and so we would change it on 3 out of the 4 options. I don't think the fourth one is what we have in current law that we're just putting in the charter if depending on how the votes occur this November. So it deals with the section that deals with a vacancy in elected. It's like about 3/4 of the way down the page of the second page, the paragraph. Vacancy in an elective assessor, auditor, clerk, prosecuting attorney, sheriff, or treasurer shall be filled at the next primary and general election, which occur in the county, provided that election to fill the vacancy should not be held if the successor to the vacated office will be elected at the next general election. The term of the office of an officer who has been elected to fill a vacancy shall only be for the unexpired portion of the term of the office whose office has become vacant and shall commence as soon as he or she is elected, qualified, and sworn in. It has a lot of moving parts in this sentence. I'm feeling comfortable with it, but and maybe Kathy maybe sitting on it and staring at it, she might, I think understands what it's trying to do. She just thought it might be able to word provided. And what it is trying to say is makes a statement that if there's a vacancy, it'll be filled at the next election. And maybe instead of the word provided, you could say the word but or something like that. That election that shall not be, you will not hold it that 4th year when you're automatically going to have an election anyway. And then it just says the second sentence talks about that whoever, if you are, and maybe that's what's confusing, it jumps back to the term of an office or office holder who has been elected to fill a vacancy shall only be for the unexpired portion of that time period. So, for example, if a person resigns in their first year and they hold an election at the end of that year, then that election is good for that person who's elected is good for 3 years, and in the 4th year you have your general election again for that position. So they're basically running for the unexpired term of that office. So it may be that uh, those sentences being combined, or the paragraph being combined, might need to be separated to make it easier for the reader um, on that. But I was thinking maybe letting the attorneys take a crack at that. It's up to you.
I'm thinking also perhaps if the sentences were reversed, whether they're in a separate paragraph or not, just, I don't know.
Yeah, that would work too.
I recognize the intent, and that's in essence what is normal is what we're describing, but it just seems not clear, but
Yeah,
it
yeah,
is clear.
yeah.
Yeah, I would like to remove the whole phrase that starts with provided that an election to fill the vacancy shall not be held.
It maybe should be a
It,
separate
it,
sentence at the bottom of that paragraph.
well, yeah, if we really need it. I mean, it seems almost like, why would anybody consider that anyway?
Well, you would have to consider it uh, if there is um, if the position becomes vacant that fourth year, you're not going to run two elections at the same time, one to fill the vacancy when
Right,
you're having the fourth year term. That's all it's trying to clarify. It's trying to clarify that
but
fourth year
yeah,
you don't do a filling of a
okay,
vacancy. So maybe that sentence should be um, that piece of that
yeah,
from provided to next general election should be made into a separate sentence. I could try to work on that if you'd like me to, and I could send it to you, um, and just take take the first part of that phrase, sort of move it with the bottom part, and then just create a separate sentence or
yeah. If we could do that,
paragraph.
that would be better because if Kathy Garber saw it and that's where she got hung up, and she knows the business. So
I,
uh, everybody that reads it is probably going to get hung up there if they're paying attention. So
yeah,
we need to find a better way to say that.
sure. Uh, so are the areas that are in purple, were they okay? The changes there in that first scenario? Because those are things that I worked on last at our last discussion and sent that out um, just to make sure that that reads okay.
I'm okay with purple as is.
Okay.
Yeah, it just I am too. I wondered if it was a little bit. I thought maybe it was a replacement or redundant to some of what we've already said, but it's good. It adds clarity, so
Yeah.
that's good.
Okay. Well, I will work on that paragraph. Uh, would you want me to send this on to our attorneys to have them just review that we've been struggling with this paragraph and would just like your input on that? Would that be helpful before we have our final product in November? Or do you think we're okay if you just want to do that? I mean, they're going to review it anyway, but it's up to you whether you want them to do it or not, or you feel it's need to after. You want to have one more crack at this?
I'm thinking you highlight that paragraph separately so that the attorney recognizes and maybe they can fix it within the intent of that we're expressing.
Okay.
That we want it to be perfectly, I'm going to use the word bulletproof, clear, but it's a complex thought that attorneys are usually better at crafting than us folks. That's my thought. That
Yeah.
recognizing that it's not perfect, but it's trying to be.
Okay. I'll
Yeah.
I'll give a whack at it. Leave this one in here. Let them and just say that this is my my attempt of trying to perfect it from what I've gathered from you folks, and also leave this paragraph here for them to say, can you might want to make this a little clearer, and here's my attempt to trying to do it, and you could take it for what you granted, or work on this paragraph and see. Again, it's sometimes it's just the way charters are written. You don't are not able to give, or any document, you're not able to give what if scenarios in that. Then you do this, then you do that. That's more of a procedure manual. But this is, in a sense, we're writing procedure here.
Yeah, yeah, and it might not be necessary, but if we need to put that in there, we should make it clear.
Yeah, when you're dealing with elections and filling vacancies, you almost have to spell it out in a
Yeah.
charter, um, even though it crosses the
Yeah.
line into procedural type of manual stuff.
Yeah, I understand
Okay.
that. And I agree, I agree if we send it to the
Okay.
lawyers and let them take a look at it, maybe they can help us figure out a better way to say that.
All right, we'll do that. And then that will be the same change on the whether resolution 1 or 2 does not pass, and I'll just have them focus on the 1, and I'll just fix the other 2, whatever they come up with. So it'll flow, and then option 4, we're okay with that if nothing passes and we want to push this in November. Do you, because it basically is trying to explain what the current process is.
Yeah, and
Between
I
parties.
apologize. I saw that last line that if they're from a non-major party or no preference, then we treat it as if it were a nonpartisan position, according to state law. Is that correct? But
That's correct.
can you remind me what state law says about that, just in general terms?
Yeah, if they're if a person doesn't declare they run as an independent or no party preference, then it's like a nonpartisan, where it goes to the council, and the council asks for people to apply for the position, and they appoint and fill the position. But if it's a partisan position, it's the parties that make a selection of 3 candidates to give to the council, for the council to fill the position out of those 3 candidates. So it's how the candidates to fill that position come from. If it's nonpartisan, it goes directly to the council. It's partisan, it goes to the party that person's from, and they select 3 candidates for the council to appoint.
Right. Okay, thanks. Yeah, that's all.
Okay.
I like it.
The on the work plan, I did move the September over where the to October, where it says present resolution options, slide presentation, and work plan to commission. So I was going to just I don't know if we'll get the information back from the attorneys in time for our presentation, which is on the 6th, I believe it is.
Yeah,
I'll try to have them get back to me on that, and then I will inform you. But we have time to. There's no decision being made until we meet again to finalize this. But I could present whatever changes they propose on that one paragraph for the 6th, so that everybody gets sort of the latest figure. But I'll let you know beforehand, and so I will be putting the slide presentation. I did add one item to it, and I may have to change the font color, but I said this slide presentation here that you can see that based upon resolutions 1 and 2 passing. That's what this slide presentation, because this is what our main proposal is, and then we had the other options if one or the other didn't pass. But it talks about, again, the current nonpartisan law, the proposed resolution, and the advantages to the resolution. So this is dealing with our first one. So that's what the slide will be. And may decide to add whatever the end result of the election is. We may quickly do another slide just to answer whatever resolution that we're going to be proposing, if we have to make any modifications. But for now, this is what our slide that will be going forward. I have that in red. You can't hardly see it. I don't know if you can even see it on the screen here, but I will try to put that in a different color so that people at least have an understanding of what this slide is trying to do. This is if resolutions 1 and 2 pass, this is what we're proposing. And so that's the two changes I have on the slide and the work plan. The rest of it is that we'll just continue to work this month on, or this next month on finalizing our wording, and after our attorney reviews that, because we said prepare a resolution for a legal review, so I need to get that to them. We'll that taken care of there. Any questions or? Okay. Well,
and thanks for inviting Kathy, and she had to leave early, but
well, as Greg, I was telling Kathy, I said that once we're done with the commission work, and if things pass away, it's up to the county staff to try to explain all this. So they need to be have an understanding of where we're coming from and what we're trying to do down the road, because we may not be around. The COVID and all the other things going on in this world.
right.
So.
No, Doug, thank you for reaching out to Kathy and getting her in here.
Any other direction, communication? And I will work on some language, get it out to you, and I will CC you when I send it to the prosecuting attorneys, and have them ask for their review, and hopefully I'll ask for their CC to CC the entire committee so everybody sees what they're proposing at the same time.
Oh, good. Good.
Sounds good.
Okay, well, thank you. I think if there's no other further business, I adjourn our workshop or meeting. Anything else for the good of the order? Okay, well, I'm going to stop the